everyone, welcome in today. How you doing? This is LDJ11, and as you can see from the thumbnail, this is actually going to end up being the series finale for the Kent Williams Carousel Dynasty. I'm going to explain as we go. I'm going to let this game play out. I'm just not going to continue it. I'm not going to be able to move on with the series due to a mistake I made and not making a backup file earlier, which normally I do, but I'm going to get into it a little bit more. So as many of you know, I record videos in advance just so that way I can get ahead and make sure that everything has time to be edited and all that. So I finished up this season and then jumped into the off season, and I was recording the off season episode this weekend, and I noticed that I hadn't been paying attention in national recruiting. So when we got to signing day, or not signing day, the recruiting period actually, I just looked around the nation to see how everything was looking, and I seen nobody else was being recruited. So when I did the recruiting mod, I made a mistake and somehow messed it up. So no other teams in the dynasty were recruiting. Well, I wasn't that worried about it when I noticed it. I was like, well, that's stupid. Hopefully some people will commit and we'll be okay with a light recruiting class, whatever. Well, fast forward, I tried to advance and it froze the game up. Every time I tried it multiple different times, and my mistake was normally I would basically end up saving a backup file before I put in the recruiting mod and pulling it completely out of the emulator as a folder, and I put it on my desktop in its own thing. Well, basically I forgot to do that, and I didn't realize it until it was too late, so I couldn't even go in and try to recreate this season as best I could just to continue the storylines. I was basically screwed, and this was gonna have to be the end of it. I thought about finishing out the season, but honestly, I'd rather just jump into a new series, get one going that I didn't mess up on, and I'm not gonna make that mistake again. I already got year one going, and I recorded an episode for it. You're gonna see it soon. Like I said, just right after this one, I'll probably post it. It's gonna be short, introductory to a new coach, new storyline. It's gonna be the same idea. It's a carousel dynasty, only this time we're gonna start out as an offensive coordinator and then go from there. I simulated a year just to basically make it where some, if not all, the players that entered the draft are gone. I tried to edit rosters. I didn't go through and check every roster, and I probably should have, but it's too late for that now. So there's going to be a few players that are probably in the NFL in real life now that are going to show up in what'll be basically next year's roster, but that's all right. We're going to start off in 2014, and I'll announce the team that we are starting with. I will say I'm not starting with one of the top tier teams that's about to win a title or something like that. I'm starting with a team that's good, so that way hopefully if I do good, maybe we can advance them beyond that, and I will be able to make it so that way they do win a national title, and then I can move on to another school and hopefully get a head coaching job. But everything I do is just going to be based basically off of that. We're going to restart it all, and it's going to be a new coach. I'll probably run a similar offense, honestly, but we're going to go from there. And, it's going to be a little bit different in the essence of there's going to be some conference relegation and elevation at the lower levels. The Power 5 is basically going to start out how the Power 5 is, or how I think it might be, and then from there, it's going to change. And every team that's not in the Power 5 when I start that dynasty, which will include Notre Dame, will have a chance to work their way up depending on what conference they are in. They have to work their way all the way up to the American, which is I'm going to make the top conference, and then if they win the American, they could potentially move up if somebody within the conference in their region has fallen off and has less than one win on the season, so whether it be 1 or 0, and then, or if in the American that team wins it, goes undefeated, they don't have to win in the postseason, but if they go undefeated in the regular season and then win their conference, they will automatically get moved up and replace the lowest team in the conference in their footprint of my choice. I'm going to hold a little bit of control over that. So it's going to work its way down. Each conference is going to be rated, and they're going to work their way up through that way. And honestly, I didn't start off the American as the best conference. It's just going to be the top one, and we're going to move everybody up from there. So they will become the top one as the years go on. Notre Dame is in it. For some reason, I thought I put them in the American, and I forgot to. So they're going to have to work their way up to the American. That's okay. It's going to be good for them to have a fight, but there's going to be one independent school, and that independent school is always going to be the worst team in the game left. So that's how I'm going to operate it. We're just going to go from there, and hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun, a little bit different than this one. So the lower level teams have a chance to move up, and maybe things will change a little bit if the upper team moves down. So like, for example, USC for some reason becomes terrible, and they're the worst team in the Big Ten, and they end up getting relegated down to the American. They win and come back. Well, they're not going to go back to the Big Ten. They're going to move back to the Pac-12 because that's their regional area, in my opinion. So that's just how I'm going to do it. And it's going to make it a little different, and things will change over time because we all know in college football, things always change anyway. So that's how I'm going to make it happen. It's going to be different, but it's going to be basically the same idea. I'm not going to stay at a school just because I'm working them up if I become their head coach. At the end of the day, my goal is to be the best coach I can be, so get to the best school I can be and go from there. So it's just something intrigue to watch and add to the schedule a little bit and see who's doing, so that way we're a little more invested in some of them games that are not involved in our team. So it don't matter, oh, Pac-12, who cares? You know, we are in the ACC, so we don't care about the Pac-12 and a terrible team. Well, that's how I'm going to try to create some intrigue, is make it so that Pac-12 team might be moving down and kind of go from there. So it's a different idea. I'm going to go ahead and try it out and see how it works, and maybe I like it and we keep doing it. If I absolutely hate it, I can remove it. It's up to me. I control the dynasty file. So that's one of the new intriguing things I'm going to do. Hopefully you guys like it. It's going to be different. Like I said, it's going to be hopefully entertaining for you guys. Please follow along with it. I'm going to do my best to make sure this time I don't have any issues with it. And we're not going to run into a situation like we just did here with Buffalo. I was really enjoying this file too. Honestly, I was in the off season. I received a good coaching offer, but I turned it down because I wanted to come back for one more season. And since we're not going to finish out the season, spoiler is we win this game, and then from there we lost next week against Kent State, dropped our season record 10-2. We never got ranked. We were so close to it. We were one spot outside of the top 25 when Kent State beat us. Well, we went and played NIU in the conference championship game, and we beat them again, so that was good. We still didn't get ranked, but we were back at like 29, I think is what it was. And from there, I was like, all right, it's bowl season. Well, we went to the bowl, and we played a pretty good team, actually. It was Utah, and then we actually ended up beating Utah, and we finished the season ranked 25. So I then received an offer to go coach at Oregon State, which is a school I like due to their uniforms in the game. So I was really seriously thinking about taking that job. But I decided, you know what, we were so close with Buffalo. We got ranked at the end of the year. I wanted to come back for one more year and try to maybe win them a title or something. So I decided to come back. We went into the offseason. I had some transfer storylines, and then, like I said, we got to recruiting. And that's when I noticed, for some reason, no other player had been recruited. There was nobody else besides the players I had committed that were above 75%, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, like I said, it was something I did when I did the recruiting mod. I think I didn't have a team selected or something like that, so it didn't fill out any of the boards, and I think that's what happened. I just couldn't fix it, can't find a way to fix it. So like I said, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off, and instead of showing a bunch of games that ultimately won't matter, I'm going to just end the series kind of abruptly, unfortunately, and go from there. This video's going to be short. You're not going to see the rest of the gameplay. There's no point in showing it off once I'm done talking. I just super disappointed in it, but this right here is going to, you know what, actually I will show the gameplay. I want it to be a bit of a celebration to the end of Buffalo and this chapter with Kent Williams. It's my first Dynasty, my first YouTube upload, so I'm really happy about it. The first episodes are pretty terrible if you look back at them. I'm still not great, but I'm a lot better than I was then. So I guess it's good that if people jump back and start watching the beginning, it won't be absolutely dreadful when they look at it. But the new Dynasty is going to get going. It's going to move at the same type of pace as this one. It's not going to affect the Bucs franchise. I may include a second draft class out of here. I'm not 100% sure, though. I may just forget about it and move the Bucs franchise on with created players from here on out, just generated players, and go from there. Have this first class come from this Dynasty file and then go from there. Honestly, I'm really disappointed to see this end. I was enjoying it. We had a great team. Richard Osherman was finally stepping up. He had like 5-6 sacks down the stretch. He really got hot, along with Afitu Adkins. I mean, we had a dominant defense. Quazell McGowan, I gotta mention him. And then, of course, Thomas on the back end. He really stepped up and was awesome for us throughout his time here. I mean, what could we do without a guy like, I don't know, man. He just stepped in and was amazing from day one. And he filled in for Thomas Turner right off the rip. It was awesome to see. Looking at our offense here, I mean, Forrest Farmer, he's been good. I was really excited to see how far we could take him and all these freshman receivers that we had. It's just sad to see it go, but I'm going to go ahead and end it. The rest of the video here is going to be probably just a gameplay, and I'll probably maybe throw some music on here and go from there. I just think it's time to move on from it and end it. I just don't want to end it in the middle of the game. So guys, thank you for watching this series, and please stick around for the next one. I promise it's going to be better than this. That's a guarantee right from the rip. So thank you for watching. This is LDJ11. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe for the new Dynasty series, and I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it.